In Leviticus, you'll find mildew, skin disease, blood, sacrifices, more sacrifices, and instructions about clothing and cropping. What on earth is going on? It's no wonder that someone has written Leviticus is like a wilderness with the bodies of Bible reading plans lying everywhere. How on earth are you and I going to persevere through the wilderness of Leviticus? What do we need to know? We simply need to know this. The book of Leviticus is all about holiness. God is holy and demands that his people are holy so that he might come and live among them. Remember how the book of Exodus ends with the God of heaven coming to live amongst his people in the tabernacle. But for him to stay there for good, well, he needs his people to be holy. And that is what Leviticus is all about. To be holy is a bit like being a toothbrush. You know, a toothbrush is devoted to one person and for one task. So it is for Israel. They are to be devoted to one person, to God alone, and for one task, to serve him alone. To do that, Israel must be holy. Leviticus has much to say about God's people and how they are made holy. That's not by effort, but by sacrifices that pay the penalty for their sin and purify the people from their sin. Leviticus has much to say how God's people are to live out being holy. So there are many laws to obey and festivals to celebrate. Leviticus has much to say about the people who help make God's people holy. So there's loads in there about the priests. Don't get bogged down too much about all the details, but instead, as you read Leviticus, try to get the big picture. It shows that holiness is really, really important for God's people back then and for God's people today. And if you don't believe me on that, well, you just go read 1 Peter. The book is structured symmetrically in a way that draws our attention to chapters 16 and 17 that are all about the Day of Atonement. So Leviticus begins with a list of ritual sacrifices and ends with a list of ritual feasts. Then coming inside that, there are details of the priesthood, those people ordained as go-betweens between God and his people. Then either side of the Day of Atonement, there are sections about purity, both ritual and moral. Then the Day of Atonement lies in the middle of the book, highlighting how the sins and uncleanness of God's people need to be dealt with on a single day, when all God's people see the penalty for their sin paid and their sins being taken far away. What's the book of Leviticus about? The book of Leviticus is all about holiness.